Hello there everyone and welcome back to Cowboy Survival. I'm Richard, and what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the Grayl Mission Bottle Sling and the Gmod pouch that you can get to go along with it. So we're going to take a look at both of these items. We're going to first look at the items themselves, then we're going to look at how I load mine out so you can see all the kinds of stuff that you can fit in here. This will include and fit a lot of stuff, and so we're going to take a look at that, and I think you're going to find this a really nice addition to your kit, especially if you're just going on a day hike or an afternoon hike and don't have to carry a whole backpack with you. The Mission Bottle Sling from Grayl is going to be great for carrying your Grayl water bottle. So let's just get into it. So the Grayl Mission Bottle Sling comes like this in a package. It doesn't come with this, but we'll talk about this in a moment. So it comes like this in a package. You get a nice thick padded shoulder strap that comes with it. This is movable to different attachment points on the sling itself. It comes with basically the body of this is a sleeve that will hold the Grayl GeoPress. It's also big enough to hold a nesting cup and also a millbank bag, so that's really nice. It comes with a pouch on the front, and the pouch is really big and it contains a lot of stuff. It's got a little mesh pocket right here, and you can put quite a few things in here. I will tell you that when this is crammed full, it makes it a little hard to slide the bottle in and out, but that's okay. You can get adjusted to that. Now, it also comes with Molly on the front and on the sides of both of these, and it's got Molly. Now it's got a couple of pouches here. Now, these are very small pouches right here, and I'm going to show you how I use those. As I said, it also comes with the snap attachments on the back, so if you want to attach that to the Molly system on a backpack, you can. It has multiple attachment points for your sleeve, for your shoulder strap. So I've got mine attached down here, and it's because of the way I carry it. I tend to carry mine on my side, so basically I tend to carry it, and I'll show you this when we get into it more. I tend to carry mine like this. Well, that's backwards. I tend to carry mine like this. That way I have access to everything into my bottle rather than carry it on my back. Some people like it on the back. I like it more toward my front. Now, some people don't like it because you bump your arm against it, but that doesn't bother me. I want to have access to everything. I don't want to have to take it all the way off my back in order to get my water out or whatever. So I find it easier to do that way. So we also have the pouch. This is the large pouch. There's a medium pouch and a small pouch. These have been out of stock for a long time. I first started looking at these in June, and it took me until September to be able to find these because they were back in stock. They've been out of stock for like 3 months. This is the Coyote Brown color. You can also get it in an OD green and a black, and I can't remember what, there's another color, a blue. You can get it in. I've got mine in the Coyote Brown. So let's go take a look at all the stuff that I include in this Grayl Bottle Sling. So first, this thing is made out of really good sort of canvas nylon material, combination of canvas and nylon material. It does have Velcro here on the front if you want to attach a patch. It's got Velcro on the strap in 2 places so you can attach your Gmod pouch if you wish. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to show you what I keep in the main section of the pouch, which is the sleeve for the bottle. So the sleeve for the bottle is pretty good size. So I'm going to put in there, I'm going to put my Pathfinder nesting cup along with my Grayl, and that'll fit right in there. I've also got a millbank bag that I got from Campcraft Outdoors. It's really nice and crafted nicely. It's designed to fit this bag, and it fits this nesting cup really, really well. So I'm going to put all these together, and then I'll also put the lid to my nesting cup down in the bottom of this. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take my lid, and I'm just going to stick that lid down in the bottom. Then I'm going to stick my nesting cup inside my millbank bag. Now, the millbank bag is important to have, because if you're filtering water, and that's the whole point of the Grayl, right? It's to purify water that you might get from a natural source. Well, that natural source is going to have stuff in it. It's going to have all kinds of gunk in it. And what you want to do is you want to be able to get the gunk out before you run the water through your filter. So this purifying filter that's in the Grayl is going to purify all the stuff out of it that you don't want to drink, right? But you don't want to clog it with all the debris and stuff that might be in the water. So if you pre-filter it using a millbank bag, you're going to be able to make your filter last a whole lot longer. These things will only filter about 40 gallons before you have to change them. And so it's a really good idea to pre-filter your water before you run it through the Grayl. That can be kind of a pain sometimes, but it's a great way to preserve that filter. So I'll take this, I stick my hand down inside this, and I just put it in here, and it slips right down in that bag. Then I can just take my Grayl, and I can just slide my Grayl right into that hole set up. And now I've got my Grayl, I've got my Millbank bag, I've got my nesting cup all together right here. So on either side of the bottle itself, you've got some shock cord around the edge of this top of this bottle compartment, and it's got some little buttons here. So it's shock cord with these buttons. You just simply tighten those down, grab that and tighten that down. And you can tighten that around the bottle so the bottle doesn't just slip out really easily. And then when you want to take the bottle out, just loosen those and the bottle will come right out. And then you just tighten them back up again when you're ready to tighten it down and move on. It doesn't come out as easy. Now, I mentioned before about the attachment places on the bottle, and I forgot to talk about that, so let's talk about it. The strap comes with a piece here. It comes off very easy, just unsnaps, and you can attach it to different connection points on this bottle. I tend to connect mine here. As I said, it rides better because I like to wear mine on my side, but you might want to wear yours somewhere else. In addition, you've got these attachments here, so you can take this off if you wanted to. If you want to take this off altogether, it's really easy. You just pull these tabs up and they slide right out, and then you can just attach them back when you need to. Because you may want to put this bottle onto a pack and not carry it as a sling. So that'll work as well. Over here, what I've got is on this side, I've added some shock cord, and I've added a little thing here to hold that shock cord. Now, why did I do that? Well, I'll tell you why I did it. I did it because I wanted to be able to attach either a poncho or my shemagh to the side of this bottle. So I created that, I got some of that shock cord, and I got the little clips for it. Now I can take my shemagh, or like I said, I could also take my my poncho if I thought it was going to rain, and I could just push that in there like this into my shock cord because it's flexible, and I wove it in and out of the molly. And so I've got this in here, and then all I have to do is tighten this down, and now my shemagh is going to stay right there, and I've got it available to me if I need it. Just tighten my shock cord down, and that's there on the side of my pouch if I need it. Really, really nice way to do this. I like using the shock cord this way. Shock cord is a really useful tool. And again, let me show you how I did this. So I'll just take this out. This loosens, it just comes right out. So I just started at the bottom. I just put a piece of the shock cord down here at the bottom, wove it up, and then when I wove it up, I just crossed it over. So it came up out of here, and this one goes over this side. This one came out of here and went over to this side. Then I did the same thing and went back over here to this side, over here to this side, and now all I have to do is take my shemagh and just stuff it in there. And I can pull that pretty snug. And I pull it snug here. And with my little attachment here, I can snug that right down. And that's not going to come off of there, and it's going to stay there for as long as I need it to. And again, I can attach a poncho to that if I want to. So let's look at what I put in the front pouch of this bag. So let's go open up. It's as I told you before, it's got some mesh here. And when I put in the mesh, I put several items. These are where my drink items go. So I keep some coffee. I also keep some tea that I'll put in there. So I've got some tea. I got a couple of straws of coffee I can put in there. Now I carry some of the Propel stuff you can put in water to give it flavor and also give you some energy. Now the thing about this, you have to be careful with your Grayl, is when you put this down into the bottle, it goes to the bottom, and if you look in the bottom of your Grayl, there's a hole in that thing, and the hole opens up to the filter. And so if you've got the older version of the Grayl, then this stuff can get down into the filter. However, the new filter that comes with the Grayls and that you can buy is really nice because it comes with a one-way water valve. So when you push the water in, it can come into your bottle, but water can't flow back into the filter. So which means this stuff can't flow back into your filter and clog your filter. You don't want that to happen. Now, I also carry with me a little spoon so that I can stir my coffee. And I carry some water tabs in case I ran into a situation where I had dirty water and for some reason my Grayl quit filtering, or I had a different bottle I wanted to fill, or somebody needed some. I've got some water tabs in there. I'm not sure I really need it with the Grayl water purifier, but I've got it anyway. I also will put in an emergency blanket. Now, emergency blanket is going to be important even when you're day hiking, because if you get injured, maybe you fall, you sprain an ankle, you break a leg, something happens, you break a rib, and you just can't move, and you need to sit still till help can come. To avoid going into shock, you may need to keep warm, and one of these emergency blankets can help you do that. I also keep a pack of hot chocolate in here because this has got sugar in it, and as a diabetic, I need to make sure I've got a sugar packet in case my sugar drops. And then I've got a couple of dude wipes because these are always useful on the trail. You never know when you're going to need them. I get these, by the way, at Sam's. My Sam's has a kiosk, and if you go to Sam's once a week, they give away stuff in this. Sometimes it's coffee, sometimes other things. A lot of times it's dude wipes. And I can scan my Sam's card and it'll dispense dude wipes to me. Sometimes I get one, sometimes two, sometimes I get 6. You just never know what you're going to get. But I have a nice collection of these single package dude wipes that I got for free from Sam's. So I always keep those in there. And that's about all I can fit in that pouch. So I'll zip that up. And we'll next look at what I keep on the side of this thing. So on the side of this bottle, you've got 2 sleeves here with 2 elastic sort of MOLLE connections here. So how do I use these? Well, first thing I do, I've got my through night flashlight. I'm going to put that into the first sleeve here. I put it through the elastic, down into the sleeve, and I'm just going to push that down in there. And it sometimes doesn't want to go really easily, so I have to sort of manipulate it a little bit to get it to go down in there. It just sometimes does not want to cooperate. There, so it's down in there. And it's got my strap on it, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to put in my ferro rod. Now, this is just a simple little ferro rod. I like the ones with the orange on them because if I drop it, I'm going to be able to find it. I was watching the first season of Alone, and one of the guys lost his ferro rod. I suspect if he'd had orange on it, he might have been able to find it. But I take this, I just slide it down into this section right here. Actually, I'll slide this in. Well, it doesn't really matter. So I'll slide this in. And this also has a string on it. So, and we'll just leave that loose for right now. So, now what I do next is I take a small S-clip. So I got one of the really small S-clips, and I'm going to attach it. There's attachment right here on this bottle to that attachment. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the strings on my ferro rod and the strap on my phone or my flashlight to create dummy cords, and so those things are dummy corded in, and I don't have to worry about them falling out. And actually, this works better if I slide the striker in first, and then I slide the ferro rod in after it. So those are dummy corded now to my bottle. I don't have to worry about them falling out, and if they do, I'm not going to lose them. I also attach to this some gloves. Now, so you got to think about the way I wear this, right? So I wear this over my shoulder this way. So the front is going to come down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my Gmod pouch. And before I do that, I'm going to show you what's in that Gmod pouch. So what do I put in my Gmod pouch? Well, I'm going to put several things. Now, these things surprisingly don't hold a lot of stuff. They're just not really, really big, but they're nice for holding a few things. And so what I use mine for is sort of mini first aid and fire kit stuff. So the first thing I'm going to put in is some Band-Aids, and I got 4 Band-Aids and a couple of packs of antibiotic ointment in case I get a cut or a scrape or something that I don't want to get infected. And there's a little sort of back sleeve here I can slide those into. So you can see those are sort of slid into that back sleeve right there. I'm also going to put in here a roll of gauze because you never know when you're going to need that, and this is really helpful. If I got a really deep cut or gash, maybe I fell on some rocks or something, that would be helpful. I'm going to keep a lighter in here. I always like having 2 sources to start a fire, so I've got my ferro rod and I've got my lighter. Now to help my ferro rod actually start a fire, I've got some fire starters, and I've got 2 different types. I've got some little fire plugs, and I've also got a little bit of char cloth. Again, I'm not planning on camping out for multiple days. This is to get me through a night or 2, and so I've got enough to get me going for a small fire. Now, I could try to cram something else in here, but that's pretty much all I'm going to fit in this. So I zip that up. Now what I'm going to do next is on this bottle sling, remember I'm carrying it like this, so I'm going to attach to this D-ring right here, I'm going to attach the clip that comes on this. And then I just take this and I just slap it on to the Velcro, and it's going to stay there. It's not going anywhere. That's a really good, strong Velcro. I do a couple of other things to this to really make it useful to me. So I've got another D-ring up here that'll be up near my left shoulder, and I'll demonstrate this and model it for you so you can see exactly everything I've done. But I've got a pair of gloves. I don't go anywhere in the woods without having a pair of gloves because I think gloves are important. So these are a pair of mechanics leather gloves. I like these things. I'm going to simply attach these using another S-clip. This is a number 3 S-clip, but you can use a smaller one if you wish. I like the number 3, and I'm just going to clip it onto that, and they're going to hang there, and they're available for me if I need them. Finally, back to this side where I've got my ferro rod and my flashlight, I'm going to clip a small pocket knife. This is the Ozark Trail $10 7.5-inch slide lock flipper. It's a nice little knife. I don't care if I lose it, but I can have it with me, and I'm just going to clip it to the outside of the pouch here. And it's orange also, so that if I should lose it or drop it, I'm going to be able to find it easily. Now, I'll probably have a pocket knife in my pocket, but having a backup is not a bad thing. So that's how I load out my Grayl Mission Bottle Sling. So I told you I would model this for you, sort of show you sort of how I wear my sling. So some people like to wear it on their back, and that's certainly fine. I don't particularly like mine on the back. It's just not real comfortable for me on my back. Also, if I needed anything, I have to take the whole thing off. And if I'm wearing this hat, it means I got to take the hat off too and set it down. If the ground's wet, I don't want to do that. So this way, I've got everything accessible as I'm moving. You know, maybe I just sit down, I just want to grab stuff quick. I can get my shemagh, or if I need my poncho really quickly, I can get to my tools really quickly. I've got my knife and my ferro rod and my flashlight right here. I've got the stuff in this pouch really accessible, and I can get my water at a moment's notice. I've also got my Gmod pouch, which is available if I need to just unzip it, reach in and grab out a Band-Aid, I can do that. And I've got my gloves right here on my shoulder, so if I need to grab those really quick, I can. I don't have to take the whole thing off in order to get to this stuff. So I kind of like that. I like the way it works that way. Now, I don't know, you can wear it any way you want to. I just think it's a great way to carry a lot of kit with you without a whole lot of fuss and muss. I got my bottle. I like carrying this with me rather than something like a Nalgene or a clean canteen or something, because if I drink all of this water, I then have the ability to get water from a natural source and purify that. Now remember, a purifier is different than a filter. So I would use this if I'm drinking from a water source and I'm not sure what might be upstream from the water source, maybe a factory or something that's pumping chemicals or something into the water. A filter may not get all those chemicals, a purifier will. And so I prefer to have a purifier with me at all times. However, if I was camping up in the high country or where I had streams that I knew what the source was upstream, I knew it was pretty clean water, I'm really out in the wilderness, a filter is going to be just fine. But without that, I think something like this is going to be much better for you than something like a water filter, even though water filters are wonderful. Now, I will also tell you that this is kind of heavy. We know that if you get one of these. Now, there's a smaller one. This is the 24-ounce GeoPress. You can also get the smaller 16-ounce, I can't even remember what it's called, the 16-ounce something press. I can't remember what it is now. But there's a 16-ounce version of this thing. And you can get the one that's titanium. And if you have that one, you don't really need the nesting cup, though I think the nesting cup is really nice to have. So you've got everything you need to go on a day hike or an afternoon hike, and you don't have to carry a whole backpack with you. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully this was something that you can find some use out of, and maybe you want to go get you one of these yourself. I will link everything that I talked about today, the sling, the Gmod pouch, all the stuff. I'll link that below so that if you want to go look at it, maybe buy some of it, you can. Remember, I am an Amazon affiliate, so if you buy something from one of those links, I may get a small commission. I've never gotten much commission from Amazon, so I'm not going to get rich off of that. So if you don't want to buy it from my links, you want to buy it, just go find it yourself. That's quite all right. It's just something I decided to sign up for it one time for fun to see if I can make any money off of it. I don't. I think I made maybe $45 total off of my Amazon affiliate membership. So I'm not going to get rich off of that. So anyway, there you go, the Grayl Mission Bottle Sling with Gmod pouch. Well, there you have it, the Grayl Mission Bottle Sling. Really kind of a neat piece of kit to have with you when you're going hiking somewhere. I really like mine, and hopefully you'll get one and you'll really like it too. So in the meantime, remember, go down and subscribe to the channel down below. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up like button. We like that. And if you want to be informed of videos as they come out in the future, click that notification bell. We also like to have comments. Let us know if you have one of these, how you like the Mission Bottle Sling, what you think about the Grayl. That's all really good information, and we'd love to start a conversation about that down in the comments section. So in the meantime, remember what we always say: stay strong, stay prepared, and have a blessed day. We'll see you real soon right here on Cowboy Survival.